This is week 3 of our Halloween month-long spooktaculer. On the chopping block this week is a shitty remake of a shitty movie starring aging B-listers and a fat John Connor. We watched Night of the Demons. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what that means.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Hey, greetings everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies that are so bad they're scary. I am your host, Marshall Hampton. With me again, finally, back from his exodus, his hiatus, my co-host and now married man, sorry ladies, he is now married, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Wow, I feel pretty, that's quite an intro, but do you hear this? You hear that clinking?
I hear the clinking.
Yes, that is the sound of a married man. So that is the ring that I clink on everything now. I'm now married, loving it, having a good time. And basically, we were discussing this earlier, I can basically poop my pants, go home, and someone will still love me.
Yep.
So that's a pretty nice guarantee.
That's a pretty awesome.
I like that. I like
feeling.
that quite a bit.
Yes, with us today we have a special guest, Mr. Ray. I hope I don't butcher the last name. Marek.
That's right.
Marek. All
Oh,
right.
wow, you did it. Good
I
job.
wasn't sure it was Marek or Merck. I want to make sure.
Most people go for Marquis, Marek, all kinds of different stuff. So, Marek's
Marek.
Nailed it.
It's not the
Nailed
same.
it.
You're not. It's not. It's the same as John Merrick, the Elephant Man, who is.
It's pronounced just like that. Yeah,
pronounced
like
same with different spelling.
M-E-R-R-I-C-K. Yeah, that's
right.
pronounced just like that, but
right.
mine's better.
Nice connection.
Aaron,
Yeah,
you
thanks.
have a little intro for our guest.
Yeah,
you wanna
yeah.
bring
So,
up,
Ray went to the same high school as I did. We were kind of acquaintances, I guess, at best. Just kind of like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? And yeah, so Ray's been working a lot on just creative stuff, working on comic book writing. He's got his own page, Rays of Razor. Has had a comic book. What was the comic book again that you published?
Well, my old website, it was a weekly webcomic called Rocket and the Shark Horse.
Rocket and the Shark Horse. So, I mean, is it still out there for people
No,
to check out?
I'm going to put it on Rage of Razor eventually, I think. It's only 12 pages long. But yeah, I'll put it back up there eventually as long as my dear friend Jane is okay with that.
I'm sure she would be. I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah, she's good people.
So he's got a great page, a lot of things, everything kind of covering from comic books to video games to movies, anything that's just kind of in the culture of just cool pop culture, nerd culture, dork, whatever you want to call it. It's there. It's good stuff. Also, another thing that we like to let you guys know about is Ray's wife, Elizabeth, is kind of going through a hard time battling some brain cancer. So we actually are wearing the shirts today.
Go
and
Elizabeth, yeah.
We do want to plug that she does have you guys have a GoFundMe site set up for Go Elizabeth. It's GoFundMe / Go Elizabeth.
Yeah, and you can find there's a Facebook page to follow, Go Elizabeth, on Facebook. You just type that in, or hashtag even. You'll find Go Elizabeth. You'll find the page. Like us, follow us, and
We are friends of that, and we
Yeah.
recommend anyone listening to follow that as well. Contribute, pledge. She's also answered this, she answered the call, served her country, former military member, child, has 2 kids. So let's make sure we can support that.
and she's gorgeous.
And she's gorgeous on top of it. Come on, you want to give a little money to a pretty lady? Come on.
Yeah, and also these guys were the first ones. We did a booster.com campaign for T-shirts, and the shirts they're wearing, they were the first ones to purchase the shirts, which I appreciate very
course.
much. And so does Elizabeth. She's like, who's Horrible Horror? I was like, oh, you haven't heard of these guys? They're famous already.
Well, anything we can do to help out, no problem.
yes, we're
thank
happy.
you,
We're happy to do that. It's a good cause. With that said, let's jump into. Let's move on to the actual episode.
But we're here for shitty movies.
We are here
yeah.
for shitty movies, and that's what we're going to do. This week's movie was Night of the Demons, the 2009-2010 whichever year.
Yeah, I found
you
that
wanna
weird because I saw it as 2009 and 2010.
Yeah, so
It was
one of
it
those.
was limited release in 2009 and then like a worldwide in 2010.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the remake Night of the Demons from the 1988 version. So this version was straight to DVD, released May 26, 2009. Runtime is about 93 minutes, but 98 minutes if you get the Blu-ray. You get 5 extra shitty minutes if you buy the Blu-ray. Written by Jace Anderson, and I'm going to butcher this fucker's last name, Adam Gurash. I have no idea.
Just go with Guy Rash. That sounds good.
Guy
I
Rash.
like Gaia Rash.
Guy Rash. And directed by Adam Guy Rash. So, this movie stars a bunch of B-listers, and maybe you'll recognize. It's got Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie fame. It's got Monica Keena, who I don't know. For me, which is what made this movie watchable, because I don't know why, but I've always had a crush for Monica Keena. I thought she was hot.
She looked good in this movie too.
She did. I like Monica Keena, but didn't quite save the movie for me. And then it's got a fat John Connor. Ed Furlong is in this movie, but he looks
Rough.
bad. He looks so rough in this movie. He looks like he's like 40 or something.
He is, honestly.
Well, he's probably in his mid late 30s, and he looks like Michael J. Fox looks now. So
Kinda, yeah.
and that's what I was like. He could play Marty McFly at 55.
Yeah,
at the age of 35.
So rough looking in this movie. And let's see if and then it's got Doria Baird.
Diora Baird, I think.
Baird,
so, yeah.
thank you. She's been in a few other horror movies. Yeah, and then Bobby Sue Luther is the other blonde with the giant. Well, she's not blonde in this movie, but she's the one with the giant tits that come up later. So, all right, moving right into the movie itself. It opens with a flashback, 1925, Broussard House, New Orleans, and this is flashbacks done in like sepia tones, and it's filmed to look like a silent movie.
So yeah, it's the silent movie, so which they called. Did they call them talkies then?
No,
No.
they were silent movies.
What'd they
would
call
be
them?
talkies.
So what did they call them?
Motion pictures.
Oh, motion pictures.
Well, because they were moving, or just silent movies.
So don't you know this is kind of a throwback to home movies? Weren't they called talkies? No?
Never
mind.
They call talkies the ones where they actually talk then.
Oh, okay.
You
Never
know,
mind.
the
Okay,
silent
my
movies-
throwback went way awful.
Silent
Never mind.
I eventually got it, but I don't know if anybody else out there is going to get it, because it was a reference to a show Aaron and I love called Home Movies.
All right.
So anyway, yeah, it's this flashback scene shot in an old silent movie style. And basically what happens here is hard to follow, but for the rundown is a woman named Evangeline basically hangs herself from a balcony. This guy tries to stop her, but she's like, "You're not who you say you are," and she drops off the railing. But instead of the rope just snapping her neck and she dangles there, the rope pops her fucking head off completely.
I mean,
It just pops off like a goddamn...
champagne cork coming
Yeah.
out of a bottle. I mean, it's
Pops right
boom.
It's just, oh my God, I've never seen that happen before. That's ludicrous. And then it pans up to the guy and his eyes are glowing.
But
Yellow.
the interesting thing I thought was weird was that before they showed the flashback scene and right after it, so they book in the flashback scene with 2 jump scares of like demon faces coming close to the screen, which I was like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Whatever.
And all the demon faces had little sound effects. They're like, rah, rah, rah. I thought this was a silent movie.
Yeah, just the beginning anyway.
So now we fast forward 85 years later, Halloween night. You basically get some meaningless montage of people partying on Bourbon Street. But the thing is, you meet Angela, who's sitting at her computer. She's sending an Evite reminder for her Halloween party.
And right off the bat, I see her just total goth chick sitting at a computer with this unique software. Everything's going beep, boop, bop, boop, boop. Why is it every movie that has like a computer savvy goth chick has this bizarre, weird software that makes it all of a sudden made me think of that CSI goth girl.
NCIS.
And whatever. I don't watch that show, but I've seen
Abby.
her.
I only reason know this because my mom is obsessed with that show. And my dad loves Abby. I know
God.
that. So, yes. But yeah, so she sends it's not just the Evite, it's the Evite reminder. So basically,
Remember, guys, I got a party happening.
which switches us to we meet the 3 main girls, which for a while you don't know. It's it's hard to follow who's who. You get Monica Keena, who is Maddie. I learned that, And then you get the other two girls who, for a while, I just had them as Cat 1 and Cat 2. Aaron had them as something.
I had them as Miss Kitty and Miss Big Titty Kitty.
Yes, which eventually you learn their names are Lily and Suzanne. Suzanne is Big Titty Kitty for you.
She's is.
So, and this scene is their little meet and greet, not the meet and greet, but the little hangout. Ha, we're friends, we're clever. They sit around talking about pussy chafing and waxing
and rubbing aloe vera on their vaginas.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so whatever.
I think they tried to make them feel more realistic, I guess, as like real girls. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what the scene is supposed to be. It's like, hey, look how real these girls are. Oh, they're fun. They're just girls talking girls stuff or whatever.
Give them a little bit of humanity rather than, I don't know.
Just bimbos who get slaughtered.
Which that's what they're there for.
Right.
I mean, why else would you have two girls with gigantic boobs dress up in that?
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
costumes that basically push her boobs out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, pushed up to her goddamn chin.
yeah, Monica Keena, Maddie, she's the only one that dresses pretty much kind of practical. She goes like as a tore up zombie.
I found this kind of funny. She says it's supposed to be scary, but was she supposed to be a zombie?
Maybe or just
She
a dead
kind of
corpse.
looks like someone who may have like fallen off the back of a 4-wheeler going about 10 miles an hour.
Yeah,
she's got a little cut on her head.
Yeah, there's like
she's
one little strand.
She's
of
a
blood
little
on her
dirty, and her friend's like,
and she blackened her cheeks a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you kind of
That's what made her the zombie was the black and cheek.
I thought it was dirt. I mean, it kind of comes down to the debate, the classic debate of, is it better for girls to go sexy, slutty, or scary? I mean, it's kind of been a debate, I suppose, amongst girls at times. At least my wife, she's my wife now. She's always wanted to go scary and have fun
Yeah.
and be, spooky.
That's what I would prefer too.
Yeah, as opposed to, just the night to slut it up and be a minx and all that stuff. I mean, I've got no dog in this fight. I really don't care.
I can appreciate both
exactly.
sides of that argument.
Exactly. I can appreciate the slutty side, and I can also appreciate the spooky, scary side.
For me, I think Monica Keena out of the three looked the best anyway. I mean, sometimes you need a little mystery. And
she's still showing a little cleavage.
She
I
had
know
like
that
the
ripped shirt.
she had the wife beater on with the shirt over top of it, but yeah, she had like cuts across the cleavage, a show a little cleavage, and then her jeans were all tattered up.
She was tastefully slutty.
Yeah.
I guess if you're gonna
and she was
call
showing
it that.
midriff the whole movie.
That's
she
true.
had the midriff showing. But and that cuts away from their conversation to the two guys we meet, Dex, I think, and Jason, who are basically sitting on a porch, smoking weed and shooting kids with one kid who with a paintball gun.
All right, we did miss that.
no
scene,
costume,
though.
no candy.
Yeah, we did miss that scene though of the girl bending over.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
The Linnea Quigley from the first movie comes back, makes a cameo appearance as the girl in the pink dress. She's just somebody handing out candy to kids, where she does bend over and basically flash her panties to a bunch of
Two girls.
to like two 12-year-old
Two
girls,
little girls
which
who-
is so weird.
Who stop and go, ha ha ha.
Yeah,
they cackle like two teenage
They
boys.
could have found a better way for her to have her cameo appearance than doing it in front of two girls. Like in the original, it was in a gas station, and she was bending over in front of Ty trying to, distract the guy. Yeah. And this one, she bends over in front of trick-or-treaters.
She just
Well,
bends
And
over
plus,
to-
she's in her 50s. It's
Yeah. I mean,
creepy.
but it should have been 12-year-old boys.
Right.
That would have made more sense. They could be like, high five, sweet panties. But it's two girls who just kind of, and they cackle kind of like 12-year-old boys. They're not like, ha ha ha, she's weird.
Maybe they're trying. I mean, maybe this movie goes deeper than you could ever think. Maybe they're actually lesbian girls who really like that, like 50-year-old woman
could
cougar
be,
type of thing.
could be.
Yeesh.
that
yeah.
would be crazy.
Maybe I'm just overthinking.
It's a little bit of a leap, but I kind of like the way you're going.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and call them lesbian 12-year-olds.
go.
They're high-fiving like, yeah, check out those panties.
So, yeah, Dex and Jason find there's this bully kid who kind of takes the kid's candy and tries to make away, and they shoot him. They just pelt this kid.
Now, I
with
have to
paintball
say, I
guns.
did like this scene quite a bit. I that was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movies because I have always hated, I've passed out Halloween candy to the kids who are a little too old and they put no effort into it. And this kid's stealing kids' candy, and he's like, fuck that, that's not cool. And he shoots him with the paintball gun. And I was like, yeah, great. But then he went a little overboard.
Oh yeah.
Dude, they were just like straight like execution style.
He
This
gets
kid.
down. I thought that was enough. He shot him once. You got him. He gets down to street level, gets down to him, and he's like, no costume, no candy, saying this over and over. He's just blasting him, just wouldn't stop shooting him.
Point blank range. That
Yeah,
fucking hurt. I
that's
feel bad for
gotta
the
hurt.
actor. Who
Have you ever been shot with a paintball?
Yeah.
Oh.
From a distance, they sting.
Yeah.
From that close. Like
It's
poor,
not pleasant. Yeah.
poor actor just.
The best part
Trooper.
about that is the guy who does that. He ends up trying to be like the sensitive guy later on in the movie for Monica Keena's
That's
character.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like this guy's a complete asshole, douchebag. I don't know.
Well, he went he went a little overboard with that one scene.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just got he's very passionate about.
He's very passionate
candy
about. Yeah,
and
you gotta have a
costumes.
costume.
Yeah.
So it switches to Colin or Edward Furlong, who this looks like we've already covered. He looks awful in this.
This
movie.
is the most pointless scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, it really is. Like
It
it
doesn't-
tries to establish his backstory as he's this down on his luck drug
Like-
dealer.
like lower tier drug dealer.
Yeah, he's this guy on the street corner. He's not the big kingpin. He's the he's the one who does it, the foot soldier type thing.
Right.
And so he goes into this bar / strip club to meet Nigel, who's I guess the big
Kingpin.
Yeah, the big dog. And he owes him money or something. Like, I don't have your money yet. And he walks. The best part about it is he walks in. Nigel's just getting a blowjob from this blonde girl the entire scene.
Casually
sitting there,
talking,
yeah.
discussing things while he's getting his knob slobbed. You know.
And he's threatens like you owe me double the money now, or I'm gonna blah blah. The same cliche drug. I will kill you if you don't give me my
The
money.
thing is, the scene, I think the only reason it's even there is to show that this guy is getting a blowjob while having a little meeting.
Yeah.
And the best part is the girl goes, "Are you done yet?"
Yeah, and he's like, no,
No.
get back down there.
You never hear from him again.
No,
No,
never
no.
see him again. But the threat is if Eddie Furlong does not double his profits, he's going to get killed by Nigel.
Yeah.
They should have done this on a payphone.
Exactly.
they
Yeah,
could've done
that'd
it.
been much better.
Yeah.
That'd been much better. Make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically said like he has to go to this Angela's Halloween party to sell all the drugs at double the price.
We never find out what drugs he's selling.
No, you never really do, but
just
it's something.
Drugs.
So that's his excuse to get to Angela's party. Now the three girls they arrive at the party, and you get the first shots, the montage with the camera party with the camera just zooming, zipping all over the
Yeah.
party, showing all the guests, showing everybody dancing and drinking and making out.
And it was very artsy, I guess.
It's trying to be artsy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah, thank
well, the
you.
cool part was at the beginning, we spoke about this a minute ago, when they were doing the establishing shot on the mansion, they played Concrete Blonde. When I heard that, the first time I was like, okay, this movie might not be bad.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
But then there was
pretty
more
surprised.
movies. So.
So Lily, Cat 1, she runs into Dex and Jason at the bar, which these guys that paintballed the kid earlier. And we learned that Lily and Dex, and then Monica Keena's character Maddie and Colin are all exes. They all dated
They got history.
at some
so
point in the
it's
past.
Night of the Exes.
Yes, it might as well be. Monica decides to go to the bathroom. She's checking her lipstick in the mirror, and a hand just comes smashing through the mirror, grabs her. She shakes it off. She runs away.
Jump scare number 3.
Yeah, jump scare. And she comes back with Cat 2 or with Suzanne. She's like, "Oh my God, you guys see!" But of course, the mirror's fixed. Nothing happened.
And she just kind of goes, huh, great effect, essentially. She
Yeah.
kind of goes, wow. Tries to do motion sensor. She thinks maybe something's going on, but it's a pretty intense scene, and she just
Yeah.
kind of goes, cool.
Yeah, it's a Halloween party.
So now at this point, Shan Elizabeth makes her grand entrance at the party at the top of this elaborate wood staircase.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of like this old southern, almost like plantation farm.
Well, yeah, it's Louisiana.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and
It's
she's
just
at
like
the
on
top
the landing.
of
You got
yeah.
the big stairs and the landing, and more stairs going up. So she's on the landing part, and she makes this big speech in a
What's
spotlight.
up, fuckers?
And
Holding her bottle of champagne and
um,
looking like she's 50.
and she goes into the brief history of the house, like more backstory, flashback of what happened here, which is just
The same thing they showed at the beginning of the movie.
yeah,
basically.
it's
Yeah, so
exactly
you kinda
what
get
it is.
get
It's
another
just repeated.
recap. Okay, this
It
house
goes
is
into a
haunted.
little bit more depth, but you don't need it. It's uncalled for.
It's a haunted house. Okay.
So more party montage going
And,
on.
and basically what she says is, I want you to drink and
Just
drug
be
and,
as deboisterous as possible.
and have sex and she wants you to be as nasty and
Nasty
go
as you
crazy.
wanna be.
Yeah, she wants you to be the God, I can't. 2 Live Crew. She wants you to be 2 Live Crew.
Two Live Crew.
Face down, ass up.
So eventually, shortly after, the police show up, cut the power to the house.
Yeah. Well,
Which is weird. I've never seen the police cut power. So I can see they come in, they kick everybody out, but I've never seen like cut the power.
But I just wanted to say also, when she says to do all this horrible stuff, she does run across Eddie Furlong. She runs into him, who she doesn't want him at the party. And I'm thinking, if you want people to get as debaucherous and horrible and nasty as they want to be, why would you be upset about a drug dealer being there?
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually,
That's another thing about the whole story with Eddie Furlong is how much money he paid to get into the party. Like he paid way more than everyone else, and
yeah,
he
it was
used
like
to
a
make all this
$10 cover charge,
Yeah.
and he had to fork out like $120
Just to get into,
because
try
the
and sell
door
some
girl
drugs.
didn't like him. He's like, no,
Yeah.
you're not getting in here.
who stole the money anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The cops show up and they announce, party's over. These are all adults, and these are all very obvious adults because everyone looks old as shit.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, these are adults having a party, and I'm thinking, why the hell are they shutting it down?
Yeah, it was like a high school party.
And it wasn't even, it
she
was
had she said she had a permit.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
No, that was the problem. She said she rented the place, but the cop said you didn't have.
Oh,
a
that's what it
permit.
was. Right.
To
You
charge.
didn't have a permit. I don't know if it was a charge or just have a permit.
Well,
to
because she was
party.
charging people to come in.
Yeah.
But who the fuck cares? That's just covering your booze. That's covering your music. It's
Who
covering,
knows what Louisiana law's like down there? Who knows?
That really, I was just
It's
like,
confusing. It's there. They try to explain it. It's not the best explanation, but
it's aggravating.
it's there.
It was just a way to get all the other people out of the house.
Yeah,
Because in the
that's
original
all it is.
movie, only like 7 or 8
Yeah,
people
it's
went to
just
the house.
like
so
10.
like
Yeah.
a group of people partying,
So Colin runs upstairs. He's hiding from the cops upstairs. The main group, like the 3 girls, and then they come back along with Dex and Jason to look for Suzanne, who wasn't with the group at the
Big
time.
Titty Kitty 2
Yeah,
is
she
passed
got
out.
separated.
Oh yeah,
But she pops right up. She's like, oh, hey, I passed
she's
out.
like, I was
in the
passed
corner."
out.
Yeah,
that devil guy was waiting for her to pass out. Remember?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, the girl, yes.
Good for him.
So
Yeah.
now basically we have what our core group going forward. It consists of Maddie, Lily, Suzanne, Dex, Jason, Colin, and Angela.
I don't know any of these names.
That's Angela, Shannon Elizabeth.
I don't. You don't have to explain it because I
Alright.
don't care.
Okay.
She's like the ringleader, though. You
Yeah,
know, Angela.
And then, so Colin and Angela, and decided let's go down to the basement because
There may be a tunnel.
yeah, that's right. They're looking for these old tunnels. Those old like
Because they couldn't find the gate to get out or something like that.
the gate was locked.
The
Colin
gate was
went to
locked,
go,
yeah.
comes back and the gate was locked. So
And
they-
Angela said there may be a tunnel underneath.
Yes. So they find Colin's down there and he finds this hidden door, and they go in. It's behind like a back cave type thing. It's behind a fake shelving unit, and they find a bunch of long dead bodies. It's basically skeletons down there now. Colin's like, "Fuck it," he leaves. The rest of the group gets somehow they show up like that, but Angela basically she sees a skull with a gold tooth in it. She bends down to, I guess, rip the gold tooth
She's like-
out of the
She's like,
skeleton.
check it out, gold tooth,
She's-
sweet.
She's out of all that money. She needs to make something somehow.
So I guess she's gonna take it, melt it down, or
Yeah.
trick him with those gold. For
Take it to a
cash.
pawn shop, get $40.
Yeah.
Hey, gold teeth are big business in Nolans.
And the skeleton bites her.
It bites her, yeah.
like it literally just bites her.
It snaps closed.
So is that jump scare number 4?
I don't know if
I
that
think it
was
could be.
even a
I
jump
think it could be
scare.
because it was a bit of a jump scare because they even said that bit her, and then they go, could have been reflexes.
She's
or
got a
something.
skeleton.
That
Reflex.
Yeah.
doesn't make any
that's right.
sense.
Yeah.
Been like that for 85 years. but-
Yeah. And so everybody leaves. Angela starts walking. You can tell she's getting weak. She's kind of stumbles a bit and she plays it up. And then as she walks out, you see the skeleton actually turn its head to look at her
And open his mouth like
as she walks out of the room.
Shannon Elizabeth blood.
Yeah.
Ah.
So Suzanne now goes into more backstory of this fucking house.
And
It's like,
how does Big Kitty Titty number 2?
there's so many questions I have. Like, how do they know this stuff?
How does she know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play dumb and say it's urban legend. Like around here, we have the albino tracks and the gates of hell. People just know all these different stories, and who knows if they're even real.
But she knows way a lot.
Well,
I mean,
this is even bad as what Monica Keena does later in the movie.
I know a little bit
Oh,
about. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I know a little bit about albino tracks, gates of hell, but I don't know, like verbatim what's going on there. She knows.
Yes,
so
I mean she
much.
goes into
She's
how
like
it's
she's
black
like a
magic and the maid puts spells all over this
Voodoo
place
and
and
hoodoo,
voodoo.
right.
It's just crazy, ridiculous backstory.
You made me think of the labyrinth there for a minute.
Oh, baby.
Maybe there's I'm just thinking in depth again. Maybe she's studies New Orleans history. Who knows?
Maybe.
Because she's a 45-year-old college student, right? And she strips to get through school.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's
Probably.
why she's got those boobs up to her chin.
So-
Yeah, neck boobs.
At this point, Angela's getting even sicker. She goes to the bathroom, and she's looking in the mirror, and she just starts flipping out. Like her head, her head goes crazy, spinning in super fast motion, and then her eyes briefly turn yellow, and then she looks at her fingers and nails and grow really long.
And then
And
it
she-
shows she has man hands after that.
Yeah.
It's like her hands look worse at real hands than her demon hands are nicer.
She is 40 at this point.
And then it's kind of everything goes back to normal, and she heads back to the rest
Well,
of the
she kind of
group.
straightens up and goes, No, so it's like, I'm a new demon inside this body. All right, let's party.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I got.
Yeah, that's a good explanation of it. So she heads back to the rest of the group, which has now decided to play the fucking junior high game, which is spin the bottle. And they're sitting around, and people are making out. And before Anderson, she comes in and like, oh, she's like, she makes it count like 7 people. Perfect. And
Yeah. No,
She,
which I
then
thought was
she
kinda
goes
strange.
and joins the game. During the game, you get girl-on-girl kiss with Lily and Susanna. And then Angela ends up making out with Dex, who is Lily's
Well,
ex.
don't forget Dex and the other dude kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a quick... Dex and Jason kiss briefly.
Yeah, they really made kind of a production out of it.
Yeah,
You know,
they
it's
really...
like, some dudes kissed.
Yeah,
Ooh,
big deal.
You know, yeah, but they really hammed it up.
Yeah. They like, we don't want to do it, and just, yeah.
Like, we're guys, we don't kiss.
Mhm.
But it's okay for girls to do it.
Yeah, that's basically exactly what they said.
Yeah.
So Angela makes out with Dex, but not just kissing, but she like mounts him and starts really making out with him.
Really intensely, like really going at it.
And Lily, like, I've had enough of this. She pulls Dex away, and the two of them go off to talk. You know, like, we need to talk. Which just, of course, this leads to sex. The rest of the group is just sitting around there. They're talking. Nothing's happening. Angela is trying to get everyone to get really drunk. Like, she's drink, and she's flirting with everybody.
Passing out bottles.
Yeah. And it's Monica's like,
Deep
no,
throating
this
bottles,
is too
too.
much for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
She's
We'll get
flirting
to
with
that.
She really flirts with Jason heavily. Maddie and Colin decided to leave. They look for another way out. This is where she turns on the seduction real hardcore. Because she like starts deep throwing like this wine bottle.
She starts pulling a Madonna from Truth or Dare
Yeah.
and just deep throating. She's licking it up and down, deep throats it, and is really like, she doesn't really know the word subtle very well.
No.
Yeah.
But Jason's like, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, that's too much for me. He gets up and he takes off to go join.
And to people
Maddie
listening,
and
you may be
Colin.
like, "Oh, come on, why would you pass it up?" It's like, no, it's really awkward. He's just kind of like, yeah. I think I'd be if I was a single dude. If I was Jason, I think I'd be the same way. I'd be like, I'm checking out. You're way
Yeah, let's
too
find
weird.
this other
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah, I'd be like, peace out. You know, this is not sexy. This is bizarre.
I've been in that situation before, years back, where a girl was...
Demon girls.
Demon girls were acting like just demon girls gone wild. The girl was like just putting it on too much, and I was like, yeah, I'm married. I wasn't, but let's get out of here.
So it goes back to Dex and Lily, who are just banging at it. I mean, they're doggy styling it up, and mid bang, like Dex just turns into a demon.
Yeah,
Just
he's
turns demon mid fucking.
yeah, he's
Well, they're doing it by swapping spit, by
Yeah, well,
because
we
Angela
gotta-
kissed.
Yeah, that's how they explain
Yeah.
it later. Like that's how they can transfer. It's like
it takes a bite or a kiss, something as simple as a kiss.
yeah, to
So
transfer the.
why
virus
attack
or-
him when you can just be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dex mid bang turns into demon, and he's fucking her, and he kind of pulls out a little bit, and he's about to like put it in her ass because
And
she's
she-
like,
she
she's
mentions
like,
it.
She's
She
like,
goes-
hey, if you want to put it in there, you need to. But she gets cut off because he just like fucking
He
just rams it into
rams
her
it in,
ass,
and she's-
just pounds it into the ass,
Slams it home.
and
Yeah.
she screams like so loud that
That
the
the people
group
outside-
hear her.
yeah.
Um,
So he must have had an evil demon prick.
Yeah, but and then it cuts back to after the group was like, "What was that? It came from the house." Cuts back to them, and she starts enjoying it because
She's a
she's
demon.
loving it now. And it
Yeah.
pans down to her, and now She is demon.
And they're just
So we have
doing it.
demon banging going on, and in their mid bang, she turns to a demon, and tentacles come out of her tits,
And
as she
worms are
grows
coming out of his mouth.
which falling on her tramp stamp. I don't know if she has one, but falls onto her back. Her teeth grow into fangs, and tentacles come out of her tits.
So
And they're just continuing to go into town.
they're just keep on doing it. It's just basically watching demon porn at this
It
Yeah.
point.
really sounds like you're more trying to sell this movie than trying to make people not watch it.
I have to
I
admit,
watched it last night. I'm ready to watch it again now. Demon sex, come on.
This is an intriguing scene.
This is almost like you see, like in Japanese anime. It's like
Right.
it's like tentacle porn now. or
Right.
something like
Yeah,
that.
this is something like
it's
live
fucking
action
weird.
anime. That's a very good way of putting it because he's got spiky teeth, puking worms.
yeah.
she's
it's fucking weird.
turning into a demon, and her boobs basically explode with tentacles coming out of them. And
So meanwhile, downstairs, Angela is trying to seduce Susanna. Angela starts dancing by herself and is trying to like, come here, Suzanne, and get her over. And I think she's dancing to Danzig. I think it sounds like
it's
Danzig.
typo negative.
Typo negative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Black number 1, right?
Okay.
No, it wasn't black number, but it was typo negative.
Yes, it is Black number 1 because I remember
Was it?
seeing it in the credits that
Yeah.
that song was used in the
I
movie.
guess they never got to the chorus.
You
Then.
can't go out because your roots are showing, dying black.
I guess they must have missed the chorus then.
They didn't play it for too long, but
Okay.
anyway, so they eventually Suzanne starts dancing with Angela, and Angela starts making out with Suzanne, and the camera's spinning circles around them, and it basically just leads up. The reveal is that they are now floating, maybe a foot off the ground, just kind of hovering in midair. Angela kind of looks back, and she just rips Suzanne's top down, so you get big old boobies hanging out, and Angela turns into a demon. Her face just gets all fucking demonic.
Like she almost looks like a Kabuki character.
Yeah, it is
With
kind of
horns?
Kabuki-esque,
Yeah.
with horn,
Yeah.
yeah. And she slashes open Suzanne's tit, nearly ripping it off. And then she bites into Suzanne's face, ripping her face off with her teeth and spitting it to the floor.
In a perfect face.
Yeah, and it just
Yeah.
lands
In a
perfectly.
perfect-
Yeah.
Too bad Leatherface wasn't around. He'd be happy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, I got everything right here. I don't need to piece it together.
I don't have to do the work.
I know, it's all here. So it's just one big, just splat.
Yeah.
Of perfect face.
Perfect face.
Yeah.
The best part I want to go back to when they're floating
Yeah.
is you know how you can tell when people are on wires and their shoulders are like hunched over? You can tell they're like hanging on wires. It's like one of the worst productions I've ever seen of somebody being in midair until later in the movie.
I know what scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the other three outside, they're still looking for another gate. They keep thinking there's got to be a second gate or some way to get out of here. They give up. They go back to the house. Jason's like, I have to go take a piss. He goes take a piss. Lily shows up in the bathroom to seduce Jason.
Miss Kitty
now
number 1.
we get the infamous, famous lipstick trick. Wow. Hold on to your hats. Sit out and just
Listen to this.
listen. Yeah, to this. Wow. All right. So
This is an iconic scene for horror
Yeah.
from the original, but they went all out in this
They
one.
went beyond what happens
Oh
in the
my.
first one. So Lily pulls her top down, revealing some amazing.
Well, hold
boobs.
on. Now we gotta say that she asks him to fix her
She
her
is
whiskers.
to set it up. He's going in to go
Yeah.
take a leak. Oh, I didn't know you were there. She's like, fix my whiskers.
Yeah.
Fix my whiskers. He's like, okay. So he takes lipstick and she's like, not there, down here. And he's like, she takes his hand, puts it near her crotch, and he's like, whoa. She pulls down her top,
Okay.
and he's like,
All right, there
hey,
you
you got a boyfriend. What's Dex think about this? And then she just,
Yeah,
then
so
she go for it, Marshall.
She pulls her tits are amazing. She takes her.
They are
lipstick
nice boobs.
and she pushes it into her left nipple. Not just like into it, but the lipstick goes into her boob.
And
into
the
the
lipstick,
breast.
it was a square too. It's not
Yeah.
like a circle, which
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be more comfortable. But
It's
it
shapes.
goes-
It's just
Right.
the shape is
She
consistent.
pushes it completely into her boob, and it disappears like fucking David Copperfield magic trick.
Yeah, too
Or
bad
hey,
Justin
shout out
isn't-
to Justin Willman.
Yeah,
Justin Willman.
too bad Justin Willman isn't here.
There's your new trick, Justin. Make it happen.
I'd see that show.
And then she reaches down between her legs. Blood starts flowing out of her vag like a faucet. It's just pouring out on the floor. And she pulls out the blood-covered lipstick out of her pussy and holds it in her hand to show Jason.
And it's kind of bent, you know. It looks like it's been damaged going through her
that
body.
happens in this movie.
Yeah, because human anatomy, you put things in your nipple that come out of your crotch.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
It's wow. What? Yeah. In the original movie, Leanna Quigley is the one who does it, and she pushes it into her boob, and that's it. It doesn't come out.
I think that it was a lot more seduction in that because she actually takes the lipstick and draws on her chest and stuff,
yeah.
and slips it in and then pulls it right back out. Where this, she just rams it home. Like,
wow. It's
She goes for full on gross out.
right.
wow. It's it's a thing to behold, and then so basically at this point, a faceless Suzanne demon.
Well, I do have to, after this scene,
Okay, go ahead.
I do have to say, probably my favorite line of the whole movie is Jason runs out and he's like, is she good at sleight of hand? Is
Oh,
she
yeah.
something,
Oh,
she
yeah.
does something? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? I think she might be hurt. What's going on? It's like, tell us. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. He's all bent out of shape. And then he goes, she stuck a lipstick in her boob and it came out her pussy. Okay? Best line of the whole movie.
Right.
Yeah, she does that. So they do run to the bathroom to see what's going on. She's not there.
There's no blood, nothing.
No blood.
Yeah.
Yep.
They come back and basically this is where the faceless Suzanne demon attacks Maddie. Jason impales her with a fireplace poker and they run to hide. But nothing really happens to
Yeah,
the demon.
she
just, like,
is not
walks
affected
off.
by this.
Yeah. And some I am skipping around some of this because it's just
Yeah.
a lot of the same. So the next main point really is they decide to, okay, let's try to find that tunnel in the basement and use that to get out. So they go downstairs. Jason, Maddie, and Colin head downstairs. Colin finds an old shotgun leaning up against the wall.
Claims he knows about guns because he plays paintball.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
It's the
Jason.
same thing.
Paintball and shotguns, exactly the same thing. They end up cornered in the room where the dead bodies were originally, and they get cornered. They barricade, lock the door. Maddie notices that some of the bodies are gone, and like what happened to them. And then they start arguing it. But they find the trapdoor on the floor. They open it up, climb down, and this basically they go down this tunnel. Nothing happens. Turns out the tunnel has been caved in recently, they think, and they have to turn around and go back. And this is when the tunnel comes alive. Like the roots in the tunnel, roots come alive, and they start grabbing the three people and trying to trip them up or strangle them.
This is where I had a little issue. Okay, so I understand the demons coming at you. The demons possessing the body of the party goers, and they are now out and about and coming to get you.
Was it at this point that they saw the skeletons again?
Yeah.
Where
There's only two left.
Yeah, there's only two left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, how are they possessing the home?
Yeah, the
and
house isn't possessed.
nature. Like what's going on? Like,
Yeah,
it's where it's like some of the powers that they had. It just kind of.
Well, I had my issue with I'll go back to it now because I was thinking about bringing it up later. But while we're talking about it, I had the same issue because the whole thing is none of this is supposed to really start until Angela got bit by a skeleton and gets possessed.
Right.
And that's what starts the chain reaction. Which I would have bought that, but you're right. With the roots and the house itself supposed to be possessed and harmed because it kind of
Even the hand coming through the
That's
mirror.
That's why I was going with this. That's the problem because that was before Angela even got bit.
We got some continuity errors here, guys.
If that would have happened after she got bit, I probably would have let it slide a bit more.
What? I never thought about that.
But the hand came out of the mirror before first thing that happens would piss me off. It's like there's no reason.
That's you're right. Her getting bit is that's what kickstarts the whole thing, and that doesn't make you're right.
The hand should never come out of the mirror that early. It's just that pissed me off. It throws off.
Ruin the whole
everything.
movie for me.
Oh. So the roots come alive, start attacking them, and then this is where the demons, Suzanne, I think, and Dex or Lily start crawling on the ceiling towards them.
slowly.
Yeah.
Well, the house is holding them, so they take our time.
Jason shoots Dex demon in the face, which does nothing.
We're talking
blows a hole
like
and
dead center, right in the forehead,
and like Wolverine just heals right up immediately.
Great shot.
He knows paintball.
Yeah.
So they do somehow manage to get away and get back to the trapdoor, get out, and they lock the two demons into the tunnel. They lock him in there. Demon Lily now comes out of nowhere, attacks Jason with her tit tentacles, and Colin basically beats her off with a metal rod, and they run off again. That's a lot of attack, run. It's so much running away in this movie.
How brilliant are the titty tentacles? That's just a masterpiece if you ask me.
It's kind of a nice little homage to Japanese anime in a way. It's
I don't know what the motivation was behind it, but yeah,
I kind of like him.
It's I really hate this movie, but the tit tentacles are probably the most amusing.
Yeah, I like the close up of whenever they came back into the boob.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when the close up, whenever they came back in the boob, the clothing would cover.
Yeah.
The clothing would just be like, oh, now I got a nice bustier again.
Back to normal.
So, the two now they run away. The two demons that were trapped in the tunnel, they get out. So all the demons are on loose. The last three guys, they make it up to a bedroom and barricade the door, and they find spells.
First of all, they picked the right room.
Yeah, they just out of luck, pure luck.
And this is funny because Edward Furlong earlier said, I just ran in this room, ran downstairs on instinct, and he fucked everything up. And now they follow him again into this room, but he picked the number one room to run into.
That's the best one.
Yeah, which keep in mind, this is upstairs. It's on the second floor. And they find spells and symbols written all over the walls.
They run in the room, and they're what's this? And they look, and there's a little bit of paint chipped.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was just trying to save some time, but yeah.
It's like...
Well, think about how long that would have taken for them to get all that paint off.
Exactly.
There, you know?
Exactly.
It takes the demo guys hours to do stuff like that, and they did it in a matter of minutes. I'd hire them.
Hey, wait, you guys have some skills.
Yeah, so this is the spells left by the old maid, and this is where, you kind of brought it up before, but this is where Maddie... I don't know what happened to her, but she suddenly knows everything about this house and these spells. She knows every fucking
She knows
thing.
where it starts on the wall, where they start reading.
She knows apparently how to read these magical spells. Granted, some things are written in English, but all the symbols, like, she knows everything.
Yeah.
And
she becomes Wikipedia.
It's like the scenes, it's like
It's
like the Matrix. They plug in the machine, all it's like, I know Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And it's like that. She looked at these like, I know voodoo or spell or something like that. So we get another flashback scene, and it goes into how the demons need 7 people on Halloween to possess or kill in order to escape hell, and that demons don't like iron and rust. That's the main bullet points to take out of this flashback
So
scene.
yeah, this is a weird point when, you know, they were fighting off the demons with the rusty crowbar and a rusty saw or rusty bar, and rebar or whatever. And you know, they say, "Oh, it doesn't like rust." It's like, how do you know? They kind of have this conversation, and then she suddenly becomes this, you know,
this conversation happens in this room.
She becomes this wall reader, and then she basically says, "Well, duh, aren't demons made of old elements?
Oh,
and
yeah.
so is iron.
Iron's element, and
rust corrupts iron.
Like,
so
it's so fucking weird.
So duh, don't you think they wouldn't like it? Like, they don't just go, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Well, you guys know that New Orleans is very spiritual, and that's why everybody there is just full of knowledge of the dead and demons and demonology. Why not?
I just put my notes in giant letters. Boy, how the fuck does she know all this? It's so crazy.
No, the worst part, the worst part about all of this is coming up in a minute.
So at this point, they decide she has a bright idea, like, oh, if they can't survive, or they have to go back to hell at midnight or once the sun comes up on the next day, because they have till Halloween. And if they can't get us, they'll go away. Yeah, so like, let's just wait here in the safe room till morning comes.
So she basically says these demons have a one shot of resurrecting and basically making a hell on earth by infecting or possessing 7 people on Halloween night. So
of course it's Halloween.
And it just happens to be Halloween. There happens to be 7 people, you know, perfect situation. But my question is, where does Halloween night and November 1st start and stop?
It'd be midnight.
So
I mean, it would be like
in November, right? Yeah. November 1st would be at 12:01, but they decide 6 a.m. when the sun comes up. It makes sense, I guess. But that's where they're going for.
So Yeah, I'm just kind of
Yeah,
curious.
it's off because I agree. Yeah, they say, oh, we have to wait till like 6 a.m. when the sun rises.
But does that mean the demons follow standard daylight?
Exactly. That's where I'm curious.
Yeah.
Where does this go? Did they just rely like, okay, well, this is the night of Halloween. We have the rest of the
You
night.
know what? They respect calendars to a point. Demons like, okay, Halloween is considered all the way through to the morning.
Well, the sun's coming up. All right, it's official. It's November 1st. Fair enough.
So, yeah, back to the movie. They decided to wait it out, and during this time, while they're waiting out anywhere, we cut to the demon orgy. The demons decided to have basically,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck them up there. Let's have a little orgy right here now, and that's
Because we're not on a time crunch or anything.
Yeah.
So time passes. A lot of time passes at this point. Maddie sees the two guys are sleeping. Maddie sees the dresser blocking the door magically move away and the door swing open. Angela's there. Angela's standing there, and the two of them have a little back and forth. And then Maddie just basically closes the door on her. It's pointless.
So the demons can't get in the room, but they can control objects in the room. That's very confusing.
Yeah.
Like how? Yeah, totally agree. Eventually, the two guys wake up and they think, "Hey, look, it's getting lighter outside. The sun's rising.
We made
We
it.
made it." And so, wait a minute, did I totally?
You skipped
No,
over the blood on the wall.
Yeah, nope, that's coming up right now. So they're like, then the walls start bleeding. And
Oh, yeah, they're saying, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. Yeah.
And the walls start bleeding, so they start trying to. They're like, it's washing away the spells. It's
So
washing
the
away
blood
word.
is so bloody, it's wiping away the charcoal writings of the spells,
From 85 years ago.
which
Yeah,
is
from
protecting them.
Yeah.
So-
Uh,
don't they have access to like soap and water? I mean, I'm sure they have more access to blood,
So-
but would it be that hard to get soap and water?
Yeah.
It'd be funnier, I think, if soap and water just started flooding down the walls
All
instead
those
of
just
blood.
suds on the wall.
Just suds on the walls.
So demons start breaking in through the wall. You see the arms going in. The three of them try to stop the blood by like soaking it up with like rags in their shirts
And
and
redrawing.
rewriting this again. Like, how the fuck do you know what to write?
Exactly.
And
That's what I was
spell?
talking about.
Yeah.
That, and not to mention, they were like, "Do you have a pen?"
Get the charcoal over there. It's
Yeah.
on the table.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
ve-
They just happen to have the charcoal they need.
I don't know. There might be. I don't
85
remember if
years
there's a
later.
fireplace and they got. I don't know, but yeah, it's
They had
Oh,
enough time in that room to
it's
memorize
so-
everything on
yeah.
the walls.
So they're running around like with chickens with their heads cut off. They're panicking. They're running around and just happen to be writing all these symbols just
Exactly
perfectly
the
enough.
way
So
they were.
here's my problem: when the demons are breaking and busting their arms through the walls, that actually should bust the spell. Just one of those should do it.
right because it
Right?
breaks
Yeah,
the words.
that should
yeah.
break. Yeah, it breaks the spell basically. And
Makes
any
sense.
other
you
thing
can't
I've ever
fix. You
seen.
can't fix the part where
No.
the wall broke,
Yeah.
so you can't repair that.
Well,
second.
they are good at drywalling too. So they can,
Okay. they're a construction crew by day. So
So
basically,
they ride enough. They go faster than demons and they solve the problem.
yeah. Finally they breed to enough of the spells of the wards. The demons fall back, retreat into the walls, and instantly the sun comes up. It's just like a snap. Of
And
the-
there are
boom, sun.
birds chirping.
Yeah.
And it's like cute little music almost in the background. Like, oh, is it the sun up? Ooh.
And so they leave the room and they head for the front door. And McConn's like, wait, this something seems wrong. So he picks up a beer bottle and throws it through the glass window of the door. And the glass shatters, revealing that it's still nighttime and this was all a trick.
My first thought was, you got Gremlins 2, bitch.
So when they turn around to head back upstairs, there's all the demons on the staircase behind them. And I think one of them's like Angela's like floating in between.
that's the one I was talking about, where she's floating there and she's kind of like swaying back. It looks like
Yeah.
somebody had like
It looks really bad.
It looks awful.
Yeah.
It looks really,
They
really
have like
bad.
a 200-pound fishing line they're holding. Like,
It was actually that old guy from that Geico commercial, or whatever. Gotcha, $1.
Yeah.
He was holding her up.
yeah.
So this cue the big fight scene of the movie. All the demons are fighting with the three remaining people.
They're
Or
hitting him
four
with-
remaining people. No, there's three.
Three,
I think three.
yeah.
And basically, Angela ends up getting the better of Jason. She rips his stomach open with her mouth and starts eating his intestines. And then he just turns into a demon.
Instantly.
Instantly turns into a demon.
I think I thought was odd about that was like he didn't look anything like himself. All the other demons kind of sorry.
He turns into like a fat demon.
Yeah.
Like a fat old bald
bald
demon.
demon.
Like,
Yeah.
exactly point. Everybody else kind of somewhat resembles themselves in Demon Form except for this guy. He looks completely different than all the others. Well, maybe Angela doesn't quite look like Angela, but she's the head demon. But like Lily, Suzanne, Dex, they all look very relatively like themselves in demon form. I threw that on. I just put like fat demon.
I think they went to Johnny Brock's and got a mask. I'm like, here.
Yeah. Wear this.
So Maddie and Colin then run up the stairs and back into the safe room. And they find that the bathtub is now filled with blood.
So, yeah, just to let you know, in the demon spell room, or pardon me, it's the safe spell room, there happens to be a bathroom just off to the side.
Yeah, like a
with
master bath.
No writing on it, nothing like that.
So this room is
I'm glad I'm not the only one who didn't notice. I noticed that. There was
I
nothing.
noticed that right away. It's like, there's no writing on this.
Why didn't you just come in the bathroom?
But they went in this bathroom earlier.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, the demons, you can they could go into the bathroom, but then they couldn't cross the threshold into the actual room.
So he goes in the
bathroom.
bathroom.
Which is basically what happens, because they find the bathtub filled with blood, and they poke around a bit.
And Dex pops out of it.
Dex leaps out of it. They fight him off, close the door, and he can't go into the spell room. So after they lock him into the bathroom, Colin falls
out
through
of nowhere.
Yeah, which the floor was fine for hours beforehand.
It was fine.
He falls through the floor, crashing all the way into the basement.
It's not like the floor starts to break. It just almost basically
Yeah.
vanishes out from underneath him, and he falls through not one,
Three
not
floors.
two, but 3 floors
Falls
all the way to the
3
basement.
stories down to land on the hard, compacted dirt of the basement ground.
And he gets a compound fracture of his right femur.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty horrific wound.
Which I'm glad you brought that one.
Yeah.
Because, so basically, again, Maddie, I think she's a witch. She has magical powers to read the spells and know all this stuff. She finds I think she makes it materialize from a spell or something like that. But she finds a giant length of thick ass rope from nowhere. Where does this come from?
Just long enough for her to rappel down.
He ties up and just shimmies down this rope 3 floors into the basement. And
You know what's stupid? I feel stupid about. I didn't even think about that. I was like, "Yep, she found some rope."
I didn't either. I didn't pick it up either.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about that right now. I'm like, how the fuck did I miss that?
I think she's a witch, man. She just
maybe she is.
poof, just
rope.
Boom, give me a rope. And so she climbs out and she finds Colin, who's got his legs all fucked up and broken, which was what?
Compound fracture of the right femur.
Thank you. She tries to fix it by putting a splint on it. Now this is probably one thing that pisses me off more than anything in this movie. But so she's like, okay, we're gonna do this on the count of 3. But when she pushes the bone back into place, or as best she can, Colin instantly turns into a demon and attacks her.
Instantly.
What the fuck? How and why does he turn here? He didn't a demon didn't fuck him or make out of him. He didn't die from a demon. He just breaks his leg. She tries to splint, and he turns into a demon.
Now, I thought the same thing last night, but I was thinking possibly when Dex jumped out of the bathtub, maybe the fluid got in his mouth or something.
That's
I don't
the
know.
only thing
That's
I was
the only
thinking
way-
too. Is that maybe because she did ask, did he bite you? And he goes, I think he was trying to fuck me. You know, maybe.
Oh yeah, because he was trying to crawl the bathroom.
The
and
only
he
thing I think
jumps
of
on
is
his back.
maybe he did bite him, scratch him, something like that.
But you don't.
No, you don't know. You have no
Maybe,
idea.
but you never see
no-
it.
yeah.
Maybe somehow he slid it in while he wasn't looking.
Hey,
Throw that
buddy.
out there.
But I don't know. That one bothered me though, because it just was so
That's Dex's
no
move.
explanation, no reason for it. Just
And again,
puts
cheap
the bone
Halloween
back
mask.
in, demon.
Yep.
So she stabs him in the head with a rusty nail, then kicks him in the face and runs upstairs back to the safe room. So yeah, like I said, a lot of running back in and out of this goddamn safe room. And you get a montage of Maddie arming herself with a lot of makeshift weapons. She makes a bunch of like buckshot shells for the shotgun with a bunch of old nails and stuff.
I don't know shit about guns. I don't. I don't know if you do. I know you know a little bit. You have a shotgun. Can you stick nails into rusty nails into a shell and still load them into an actual shotgun? Not only that, how many can you put into a shotgun? How many shells can you put into
Well,
a
that
shotgun?
depends on the shotgun itself. Every gun's
What's the max? you
I
think?
don't know too much about shotgun. I know more about assault rifles and handguns.
Well,
Shot rifles.
it has to. There has to be. I don't remember what you did in the movie, but there has to be the
As long as you have the cartridge, the shell.
the shell,
with the
but it's got to have the
gunpowder.
powder. Yeah, as long as the powder's in there and it has that thing that the hammer hits,
Sure.
it should
Yeah,
should be able to work.
Yeah, science. What she did could work.
Okay,
as
now-
long as, but you have to have the shells to do
Okay,
it.
Yeah.
just curious because I don't know.
You can't just throw nails and shotgun and expect it to work. It'll just do nothing. I
'Cause
would
you-
assume. I don't try it at home or anything.
Yeah.
Or do I?
So, and then so once she gets all armed to teeth, she goes out into the hall and she's like, "Come and get me, fuckers," or
Why
something like
did
that.
she do that?
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, why leave
Stay in the room.
Yeah, it's proven that it's safe. You only got a little more time to go.
Put
Just
your
stay
back
in
to the wall.
room.
Get your gun.
Yeah.
Arm yourself. That's great. Put your back to the wall
Yeah.
and just stay there.
Exactly. I thought the exact same thing.
Come get me, fuckers.
So there's no reason to leave. Yeah. So she goes out. All the demons start to converge on her, and she's shooting everyone. She's saying, "Rusty nailed, buckshot everywhere." Boom, boom, boom.
She becomes Charles Bronson.
Yeah,
you know,
she's
she
just
just
shooting
starts kicking
crazy.
ass.
But nothing will kill the demons.
She's hurting him, but nothing's
they're
killing
not.
him.
Yeah, they recover pretty
Yeah.
quickly. The sun starts to rise outside, and she's like, oh, "Okay." She runs out to the balcony, the same balcony we saw in the flashbacks. She puts a noose around her neck and she jumps.
It's just like the intro.
Yeah, just like the flashback we see. Except her head doesn't pop off. She jumps and she
Weak.
hangs there, and you see her kind of dangle, hanging by her neck. The demons start to convulse and shake and spasm, and they burst into flame and ash.
When the sunlight comes up.
Yeah, and the ashes return back to the room in the basement where all the bodies were.
They go in the cold air return.
The vent system. And it cuts back to Maddie, who now opens her eyes, unties a rope that she had apparently around her waist, which you can clearly see in the shot where she actually jumps from the ledge. There's no rope there.
Yeah.
And this drops her a short distance to the ground. She's like, demons, not too smart. And she starts to leave. The gate opens up, and two movers walk in saying, "Hey, where's Angela? We're here to pick up the sound equipment." She's like, "Oh, she's inside." They look at her all covered in blood. Like, "Oh, it must be one hell of a party." And she's like, "You have no idea."
You have no idea.
And she walks out, closes the gate behind her, fade to black,
Cue Concrete Blonde again.
Yeah.
roll credits.
And yeah, it's she just like fucking demons. That's how she like walks away.
Yep. Now, there is a scene at the end of the credits I watched.
I did too.
And it does go back to Nigel, the drug dealer, and it's basically the exact same thing of him still getting the blowjob, and the blonde girl pops up and says, "Are you done yet? Or are you close to being done?" or something like that. And he's like, "No," and he like pushes her head back down.
Right back to exactly what Ray was saying. The only reason you had that scene is just to see that guy
Yep, that's the only
getting a
reason.
blowjob.
And that's
And
the
it was a
callback at the end of the
Cute
credits.
little callback.
That was the payoff for the whole movie.
That's it.
Seeing him get more blowjob.
So, all right, now comes favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill?
All right. There's not much. I don't know. This was a weird one for me.
It's
because,
not your classic kill.
Yeah, because they don't really die. They become demons, and then I don't know what to choose from in this
Well,
movie.
I think technically we can say kill because they maybe die before they become demons. They're human, part dies and then they become demons, kind of
really,
like
Shannon
vampires.
Elizabeth died from a stupid skeleton bite.
She died from basically like tetanus or something.
Well, yeah.
Skeleton
Well, then
infection.
Diora Baird died by having sex.
yeah.
Yeah.
She became
yeah.
a demon by injection.
Death by ass boning. Yeah.
So we always want to guess what would be your favorite kill of the movie?
If we go with actual favorites,
Yeah.
I probably what is it, Big Titty Cat 2 or whatever. Just because she gets her boob ripped in half or ripped apart and then her face ripped off, that was pretty cool.
Suzanne. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's the best one. But the Shannon Elizabeth one was by far the dumbest.
yeah. I'm going to actually go with the intro. The head popping
Head
off
popping to the flashback.
when she jumps off of the
I
balcony.
didn't even think
and
about including that. Yeah,
Yeah.
she goes and she's plummeting to her death, and everyone's just
the only
expecting
true death, too,
Everyone's
really.
expecting the big hang, and she dangles, but pop,
Yeah.
man, the head pops
And
off.
you see it roll down the stairs.
and it
with
rolls on the stairs, and her body is just leaking buckets of blood out
yeah.
The
everywhere.
first time I saw the movie and I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, that's pretty neat. Okay, I'm gonna have to go. That's my favorite kill.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's still a kill. It's
It's
still
still
kills
suicide.
herself.
Well,
Suicide,
yeah,
yeah.
kills
Well,
herself.
I'll accept it.
Marshall?
Acceptable answer. I was torn with this, man.
Yeah.
I was so because this movie angers me in so many ways. It really does. I agree with Ray that the face rip, the boob with the face ripped off was kind of cool because that's
But
like
the most
an actual
graphic,
die-
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
But then I thought about more, even though it's not that graphic. I'm going with death by anal demon dick in the ass. Because if you make the argument, yeah, they're dying before. If that killed her, I mean,
That's a weird way to
That's
go.
a weird-
That leads me to ask a question about that. So if they're doing it and he's doing it penis to vagina, but it waits till he goes into her butt, so did she get injected to be a demon through her butt?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm guessing.
Who knows?
it's like not the same way as pregnancy. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they do say that the anal mucosa is extremely exorbitant.
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yuck.
So
Sorry to drop a little bit of medical
yeah,
terminology.
I'm gonna go with the demon dick in the ass. Like that's gonna be because that's just so funny.
Death by demon dick.
Because then, like, once she turns, like, they don't even stop fucking. They
No.
just keep
No,
going.
they keep going, banging it out.
Yeah.
And her boobs explode,
Yeah.
and the tentacles
worms
come out.
fall,
Yeah, it's a weird
That
scene.
is
It's a
fucking
weird
and
scene.
strange. So that's me. That's
And,
my
and
favorite.
Ray did
kill.
comment that we were really into that scene.
All right, moving
I got that on. I got a. Never mind.
We'll leave it.
I put that on repeat. That's all.
All right, moving on to our odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
As we start with odds, we always start with our the other ratings for the movie. IMDb gave it a 4.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has a 31% with a 25% audience score.
That's actually kind of high.
It's a little higher
I'd
than
say,
normal.
yeah.
Yeah, and then good old Amazon, which is always the ones that are always the highest, 3.5 stars out of 5.
I think just about every movie we've done has always been 3.5.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
had
just-
we had one or two that were 4 stars. I think Killer Clowns is a 4-star.
Killer Clowns.
Now
pretty
that one,
awesome.
but I listened to that show. That one is a cult classic.
Yeah,
but
it's
there's
good.
so many people that love that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Not me.
I love it myself.
And I don't know. I think Candyman was the higher one.
Candyman's actually. I think it's a really good movie.
We've had, but the average for Amazon for us is like about
3.5.
2 to 3 stars. Yeah.
See, for my my website, we did top. We're doing a top 100 horror films. I
Yeah.
added this, and I had 15 people vote on the movies, and it got about. I think it was a 4.6. So that's all 15 horror fans. So
quite literally, 4.6. What was yours? What was Amazon?
3.5 out of 5.
Oh, but what was IMDb? What was one of them? Was 4.6.
4.7, but that's not 10.
Ah, dang.
That's not 10.
4.7.
yeah, and mine are out of 10.
You're out of
It's
10. So it's
yeah.
pretty darn
Okay.
close.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn close.
Okay.
The original made the top 100. So
The original, I think we'll get into that before we close things out. We can compare a bit. Plot keywords. These are fucking hilarious because other than the very first one, which is charcoal, if you read, once I read this list, I swear to God, you're gonna think I'm talking about a porn movie, not a horror movie.
Well, there's a lot of boobies in this movie.
Here we go. Plot keywords.
not enough. Shannon Elizabeth didn't even do it. Come on, she's too classy.
Gay kiss, gay panic, orgy, urination, premarital sex, anal sex, blowjob, fellatio, lesbian kiss, strip club.
Wait a second. Was this on RedTube or whatever? Isn't that
Is
what
this
a
on
porn site?
Pornhub?
Yeah,
Pornhub, that's the one.
Yeah,
You
like-
porn. Yeah, these are straight from IMDb.
Urination's the best one.
Yeah. Like,
Hold on, where does urination fall?
well,
in the-
Jason pees for a little bit before he turns over and he sees Miss Kitty #1,
Yeah.
who does the lipstick in the boob.
Lipstick's not even on there.
Yeah.
No, lipstick is on. I didn't write all of them.
Okay.
There was a lot. I just took like these are the crazy ones. Like It made me think, like, if you just had these keywords before you knew what the movie is, you're right. You think, okay, that's a porn movie.
So my favorite, Gay Kiss,
and
Gay Panic.
Gay Panic.
How many movies do you want to watch with Gay Panic?
Yeah,
I'm in the mood.
Where's the gay panic though?
Well,
I swear, and it's gotta be from when the two guys are freaking
playing
out,
spin
kissing
the
each other.
bottle.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. That's gay.
and
or
they
something.
just go,
Ew.
yeah,
and they freak out. Yeah.
That's what it's got.
Gay Panic.
Um,
It's funny. That's a weird keyword to say.
yeah, it's so weird.
Gay Panic.
So if I type in gay panic on Google, Night of the Demons should come up. Fantastic.
Or if you type it in
IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah,
Oh.
IMDb.
Gay Panic.
Gay Panic.
Gay panic. Top 10 gay panic movies.
All right, so some trivia background information. We already covered that Linnea Quigley who played Suzanne in the original movie. So that's another cover. They both had people named Angela. They both had people named Suzanne, and the original also had a guy dressed as a doctor, just like Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of similarities.
Who did it with an Asian chick.
Yes.
Yep. In a coffin.
In a coffin.
That's right. She does come out of the coffin all booberific.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
She had some nice tits.
Oh, yeah.
she
We're
did.
getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we already covered that she makes an appearance in the same thing. Now, this one's kind of pointless about reading away. John Beach's audition scene. He's the guy who plays.
Hold on,
Jason.
people had to audition for this? I thought you just walked in
Apparently.
and got the job.
Apparently, it was the scene where his character comes out of the bathroom days after just witnessing the girl doing the lip sync trick. That was his audition scene. Was right after that would have happened.
That was my favorite line in the movie. That was my favorite line in the movie.
that was his audition scene. Most of the demon eyes were not contact lenses, but digital effects.
No.
Doria Baird and Monica Keena have both battled prior mass killers. Monica was battled Freddy and Jason. Freddy versus Jason. When Doria fell victim to Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning.
It's another bad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all I could really find for trivia and like little background information for this movie. Which brings us to Aaron's favorite part. We're going into the budget game.
It's now time to play everyone's favorite game, Guess the Budget.
So here we go. We get to guess the budget.
Before we do that, can I throw one thing out there?
Oh,
They were going to do a sequel. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was going to be called Night of the Demons After Party.
I missed that.
The original has 3 sequels. They were going to do
Yes.
a sequel, and they couldn't get funding for it, so they went to Kickstarter and asked for $250,000 and did not make it. So if that tells you anything.
Sorry, guys. Nope. This is dead. The fact that there's a remake, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
I know
cool.
that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
all right. You lie. Guess goes first. Ray,
Guess goes first. Ray, what
would you guess the budget for this movie
Now,
was?
here's the question. Do you know what the budget is already?
No, I don't know the budget.
Okay,
I usually
good,
do,
'cause
but this I don't.
Sometimes I accidentally see it, and
Yeah.
I let them know before because I don't want to spoil it. So we have to physically actually guess what it is.
My cousin told me that a lot of budget goes into paying the actors' salaries, and he works for Happy Madison. Anyway, he told me that a lot of the money goes to the actors, so I'd say $17 million.
That's not a bad guess. I mean, considering you have Eddie Furlong, who I'm sure asked for a little bit of money.
Shannon Elizabeth, I bet.
Shannon
asked.
Elizabeth as well.
She's classy. She's classy.
She is classy. Look at her. Yeah.
Won't even show her boobs anymore. Come on.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, again, her hands look like
Man
hands.
I don't know.
So-
She's probably one of those, once she got married, she's like, no more boobs.
Well, see, I think she said after American Pie, she wasn't going to do that anymore. I'm like, why not? They're fantastic.
I know. They're great.
Share them with the world.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Eddie Furlong, Shannon Elizabeth, B-listers who probably require a little bit more decent effects. But it seems like they did have pay for a little bit of music. I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
I'm actually going to go a little bit lower because Eddie Furlong, I think, was desperate for money. Shannon Elizabeth.
Well, he was trying to
same-
sell drugs at a party, of course.
Shannon Elizabeth, same boat. I think she was a little bit, beyond her prime.
Washed
got
up.
this thing. I'm going to go $12.5 million.
Wow. Both of you are over.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa.
But Aaron, for the first time, you were actually the winner. You
All
came
right.
closest
This is nuts.
without going too far over.
This is-
Estimated budget $10 million.
Hey!
Which blew my mind for this movie. Like, I still don't think this should have been anywhere near $10 million. I've seen lesser movies that were much better than this.
Well, it could have gone to a lot of the practical effects they use with makeup and everything. Like
I
that.
guess, but
And that house also cost $9 million to rent, I think, for one day.
Probably.
That's a guesstimate.
Yeah, but I agree. Some of the practical effects are pretty good, but I think they some of the music they got, and did anybody else notice a little odd and end almost here? How often they showed the guy at the party, when they showed the party scenes, the guy dressed up as the Saw doll riding around on the tricycle.
They probably had to pay for the rights for that, too.
Sure, or if they were actually almost compensated for that, or if they got money for it. It's like, hey, just feature our Saw guy a couple times, and we'll give you $10,000.
I don't know. To me, I was surprised at that because
There's also a good Ford advertisement.
The
in there,
first time
too.
I saw this movie was on Sci-Fi. And I swear, I thought it was one of their
Sci-Fi original.
Yeah, I thought it was a Sci-Fi original movie. The first, because I've seen this movie not counting the time watching for this, I've seen this movie 5 times.
Yeah,
always on Sci-Fi around Halloween. So I thought it was a Sci-Fi original movie every time I saw it.
It plays that way very well.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of, they really do. This film kind of plays and borrows, I think, from that grindhouse style of filming. Just they kind of have dirty editing, dirty effects here and there, just kind of like they know they're a lower budget film and they don't try to hide it in a way, and this is also kind of right in the coattails of the Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez 2007, 2008 Grindhouse, Death Proof, and Planet Terror.
I actually love those movies.
I love them too, sure, but I think that it's still kind of it's kind of riding the coattails of that style a little bit, in this movie.
I think Night of the Demons, the original is very dated, so I think a remake, for me, when I saw it was there, I was like, oh, this is very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm disappointed.
We'll get to that probably on our closing remarks. But let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
All right. These are pulled off of Amazon, and there were a decent amount. I wrote down, I think, 5, and one is just hard to put. I don't know what to think of it. All right, first one, Destiny Smith. I watched this movie so many times. I love the concept in every part of this movie. Better than the original, even though it's nothing like the original.
Whoa.
5 stars.
Whoa.
Easy, Destiny.
For real?
For real. Now, this is the one that, this is crazy. Trish Adams. My son.
Trish the Dish?
Trish Adams. My son passed away October 14, 2013. And he and his girlfriend was a fill-in for this movie. They were dancing and kissing, and they showed them up close in the first 15 minutes of the show. It was so great to see him. He loved doing the films. A special thank you to the producers for choosing him and her together to be in front of the camera. I purchased this just to see them. Thank you very much. And yes, they were in more movies, but never that close in a film before. They had a really fun time being in New Orleans himself, the Grand Smith. What a blessing. It was truly great for him. Thank you. 5 stars.
That's almost sad.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
She's basing the how good the film is off of knowing somebody in the film.
That her son was an extra in it.
That's sad.
Who died a few years ago.
I don't want to read that on her show.
I said,
that's a very interesting 5
that's
star.
Worth reading. I mean, that's how often you see that. That's nuts.
Good. That almost makes me want to like. It almost makes me like the film more now.
I think I even know who she's talking about. I think I remember in the opening scene that one of the couples making out. The camera goes right by him. All right, moving on.
Is it the lesbians?
No.
Darn.
Mark House. Sex and horror combined with one of the sexiest casts I've ever seen. Shannon Elizabeth and Monica Keena are just the beginning. The women are gorgeous, all capital letters in bold, in this movie. You might recognize some of them from other horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Monica Keena, or Scary Movie, Shannon Elizabeth. There is even a small amount of comedy, but not much. Actually, it's much. Who can beat sexy women in skimpy outfits in a haunted house?
So this guy's a
5
pervert.
stars. Yeah.
5 stars, titties, everyone.
Yeah.
And he gets his facts wrong. Monica Keene was not in Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, it was Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah. Get your shit right, Mike Markhouse.
Mike Markhouse?
Yeah,
He forgot to include that Shannon Elizabeth was in the horror classic Jack Frost with the Killer Snowman.
We haven't seen that yet.
Oh my god,
that's on our list.
Yeah.
That's on our list.
And she's also 13 Ghosts remake too.
Yeah.
Shay Higgins. This one is...
Hi, Shay.
This one's weird. It's trying hard, right? This movie is the best. Period. Love it. I was trying to find it but couldn't, so I kept checking back on Amazon. So I'm so pleased, and shipping was fast. Check it out. Horror, my favorite. 5 stars.
Is she reviewing the shipping ability of Amazon or the movie itself?
Who knows?
And is
but
that from Amazon.com or IMDb?
these are from Amazon?
Okay.
But
I'm glad.
it's
Thanks
all,
for the
there-
shipping, Amazon. 5 stars.
There is no punctuation whatsoever in that.
Oh, I love those.
It's
Yeah.
awful. That was all one sentence, which didn't even make sense anyway. It was all chopped up. And the last one from By Winning. This movie is a remake of Night of the Demons 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, combined all 3.
It's based on a Halloween party, and it's the best remake I ever seen. Please support Robert Furlong, aka Terminator Kid. We love the 80s, and we do anything to keep it alive. 5 stars.
Robert Furlong?
Robert Furlong.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Did I say right? It is Edward. Edward Furlong.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, you said Robert.
I'm sorry.
Terminator 2 came out in 1991.
Yeah, I was say 91, 92 was
Yeah,
Terminator 2, not the
92.
80s.
Yeah.
It was definitely 91. I'm just
Yeah.
going to throw that out there. What's this guy's name?
It's By Winning.
By Winning?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's 91 or 92.
Yeah,
know that
I
for
thought
sure.
92,
Yeah,
but
I thought
yeah.
92 also. Yeah.
Either way, if it's 91, still not the 80s.
Yeah.
But that's just hilarious. And he says it's a remake of Nights 1, 2, and 3.
No,
It's
2
not.
and 3 are completely, not
Yeah.
completely different, but they're different than...
It just, so that guy's like, whatever. And he loves 80s. We're trying to do everything to keep the 80s alive.
Love the 80s, dude.
Dude.
90s movies. I mean,
I love the
yeah.
Love the
and the
80s too,
90s.
but anyway. All right, so that does it. We're gonna final thoughts and recommendations. Ray, is this movie so bad it's good, so bad it's scary? Closing thoughts.
I think it's so bad it's good. It's fun to watch, and I'm going to point out the gore, the ridiculous story, and boobs.
Boobs.
And boobs getting ripped off. Let's not forget about
Yeah,
that.
there are boobs. That
I like
get
that.
ripped
Short and
off.
sweet.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with so bad it's good as well. Honestly, just
You're disappointed.
but it just barely makes it, and the only thing that really makes it is just the production quality. And it's like they kind of have a little bit of fun with the actors. They do, like the guy who played the Jason character. I liked him. He was probably my favorite character. I could relate to him in a way. He just seemed to,
Hold on, was that the paintball guy?
Yeah, he was.
So you shoot people with paintballs?
No, that was I did go out of my way to say he went a little crazy with
Yeah.
that. However, everything else that he did, I can kind of see myself doing, even though I don't want to get killed. But overall, it was an okay movie. Interesting remake. Some stuff sucked. Don't get me wrong. It's not something that you really want to go out of your way to see.
I bought it. I blind buy horror though. I got a huge collection, so
Yeah, that's bold.
yeah.
That's a bold move.
Hey, it was like $3.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so I'm gonna say it's so bad it's good.
I am.
Audible sigh.
Yeah, I can't go so bad it's good, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm going so bad it's scary. Because there are a few things in there that are, like I said, I like Monica Keena. I always have, and for that, I want to like it more than I should. But I'm also so sick of this movie. Like, I've seen it so many times on sci-fi. Like, I just can't take it anymore. And it just, it's a push for me. I'm not saying either one. To me, it sucks, and I hate the movie, but at the same time, it's not that bad.
So Marshall is trapped in purgatory.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: you're flipping through the channels, come to sci-fi, and there it is. What are you gonna do? Keep going or watch?
Good question.
I keep going. I've seen it so many times.
but
I've seen it and keep
Do
moving
you,
on.
if you can't find anything, do you go back?
This is the only thing I've seen. And this is the first time I've ever seen it. So I was like, yeah, it's fun.
That's a good question. I don't know. I like it for Monica Keena. And
Boobs, Marshall.
the boobs. You do see some really nice boobs. But if you're watching on sci-fi, you're not seeing
Nope,
those boobs.
that's true. He's right about that.
Yeah, but you saw boobs
And you're not
now.
going to see the lipstick
No,
trick on sci-fi
that's
either.
yeah. I didn't think about that. They probably cut it down a lot
Yeah.
on sci-fi.
So boo to you, sci-fi.
Yeah, I'm going to push. Quality wise, yes, it's not that so bad. It's scary because we've seen a lot worse on the
Yeah.
show.
Yes, we have.
But I personally, for me, I go a push. I I push. I wipe on this one. I'm done. So, I wipe
So
my
we
hands
have
clean of
2
it.
4 and
You have
1
2 4
no,
and
non-vote.
non-vote.
I'm going to throw this out there. My wife, when we were finished watching it last night, it was the first time she saw it. Elizabeth, she looked at me and goes, I don't know what I just watched.
That's a pretty good assumption. It's a pretty good
Yeah.
wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, all right. Closing remarks. Ray, you have anything final you want to say? Plug, push?
Oh, if you want to, you could follow me on Facebook, Rage of Razor, and Twitter, Razor_33. My wife's page, Go Elizabeth, GoFundMe.com/Go Elizabeth. Right now on Rage of Razor, I'm doing 31 Days of Horror, which last night was Night of the Demons. And
Nice.
last Saturday was Night of the Demons, the original. And then I'm also doing the top 100 horror films based on 15 or so people that voted on it. And I think I've got the first 70 up. So it's all on rageofrazor.com.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's a cool page. Good thing to check out.
Aaron, you have anything to push?
Essentially, I'm just going to kind of piggyback off Ray.
All right.
Go check out GoFundMe /Go Elizabeth. Support her, donate, help her out, help Ray out.
I think we're going to do
It's-
shirts again.
It's a great cause. So
All right.
I really, really want that to happen. And also,
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Other than that, I'm married, which is pretty awesome.
That is
So,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Remember, follow us on Facebook, our Facebook page, our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. We are on Twitter @SoBadIt'sScary. We also are on Podbean, and we're on iTunes. All this is free. We do all this for you at no charge. So check us out, download us, subscribe, you know how this stuff works. You people are smart. In the meantime, we'll be out. We'll be back next week with another Halloween-themed movie. And that's it. Take care. We'll see you down the road.
Hugs and kisses.